This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
AI in marketing is an intersection that you probably want to live at, even if you're not a marketer or a freelancer or anything like that. In the end, so many of us are responsible for doing some sort of marketing, and AI is an incredible tool that can help us all market better. That's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today on Everyday AI. This is your daily live stream podcast and the free daily newsletter. Don't forget about that. Helping everyday people like you and me not just learn what's going on in the world of AI, because you can do that anywhere, but how we can actually leverage it. That's what it's all about. Everyday AI. We bring on guests who are very knowledgeable in their fields, and they spill their secrets for you, so we can all take those things and help grow our companies, grow our careers. So before we talk about that, let's first recap the AI news, something we do every single day. And again, if you're joining us for the first time, we do this Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and put it out on the podcast and the newsletter shortly thereafter. But let's start off with this story. Strange one, but AI is coming to your mouth. It's so taste buds, your taste buds to be specific. So AI and Coca-Cola have kind of teamed up, or Coca-Cola is using AI in their recent collab with street rare brand Ambush. So Coca-Cola, they used AI to help determine the flavor and packaging of this beverage, and they're selling this Coca-Cola Y3000 limited edition beverage that's allegedly supposed to taste like the future, whatever that means. So yeah, more on that in the newsletter if you're interested. Next, the U.S. Senate is trying to tackle AI regulation again. Didn't go so well the first time around. Essentially, big tech companies signed a little letter to self-regulate themselves, but now a bipartisan group of U.S. senators have proposed a one-page legislative framework for regulating AI. And also, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is holding an AI Insight Forum where all 100 U.S. senators will hear from tech and AI leaders. So interesting to see what comes out of that. Hot take, I don't think any real legislation is going to be coming to regulating generative AI. I think right now it's way too important for the U.S. economy. So I don't really see anything too restrictive or prohibitive. Last but not least, will AI be able to predict crime? Well, maybe, and a lot of companies don't like that. So a tech company called Voyager Lab, a recent report is showing kind of a ongoing feud between Voyager Lab, which is using social media posts. It says that they can use their AI algorithm and social media posts to help predict who may be committing crimes based on their social media activity. And there's currently a new lawsuit between Meta and Voyager Labs and Voyager due to what Meta is saying, improper scraping data. Wow, a lot going on. And also, hey, before I bring on our guest for today, real quick, I just want to mention it's a really cool, I think, milestone here, because we're hitting our 100th episode tomorrow. Wild time flies when generative AI is coming so quickly, right? It seems like we just started this yesterday. So I wanted to first thank you all for your support, but also invite you. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, there will be a link, but invite you to the live stream tomorrow. We're going to be doing hopefully a real fun recap of some of our favorite episodes, some of our favorite moments. I'm going to come in with hotter takes than I've ever had before. And we're also going to be doing some secret giveaways. So I hope you can tune in for that. But you tuned in today to talk about freelance marketing. So let's not delay it any longer, because our guest, I'm very excited to have Mike Forgie, a freelance local marketing specialist, join the show. Mike, thank you so much for joining.
I'm super stoked to be here.
And also Thank you. That was probably one of my most long-winded intros ever, but luckily, Mike, you're in the comments all the time, and he's always helping people, as we're talking about things. So I love it when we can get people who are, participating in the everyday AI community to come on the show. So first, Mike, just tell everyone a little bit about what does that mean? Like a local marketing specialist, so tell people kind of what it is you do and kind of how you're starting to use AI to help do that.
Sure. So I've been a freelancer for well over a decade officially. I think that's when my LLC started, was like a decade ago. And I focused on mainly local businesses, auto dealers, dentists, things like that, helping them with anything digital marketing. And as I went through the whole like social media marketing agency type stuff, I ended up just really focusing on the Google like algorithm search engines, which I like to call buyer intent marketing, where people say, I need this thing and you need to show up there as the business. So local ended up being really beneficial for me. National, I do national. I have a few national clients but I really enjoy helping people who have a local business, whether it's service providers like landscapers, home builders, things like that, or if it's like retail or like dentists, places where people go to. So I focus on those mainly. And the goal is basically whenever someone says like, I need this, I want my clients to be the top ones that are, offering that service.
No, yeah, absolutely. And one thing, I'm going to go straight into hot take mode, Mike. We're going to take this in another direction because speaking of local marketing, I think that's one of the few areas when it comes to search engine optimization or for local for even just business discovery. I think it's one area that's not going to change too much. Because you have companies like Microsoft and Google moving more into this generative or AI powered search. But I think local marketing and local business discovery isn't going to change very much as other products, services. What's your take on that? And how do you see just the local marketing industry, changing or not changing with generative AI?
One is that I've been told SEO is dead since I started search engine optimization. As long as there's a little search bar somewhere, that's a search engine. So I'm not worried about it at all. I can go from, YouTube to any social media. So if you're just optimizing for any search engine, just how you tweak it. For local, the local algorithm is usually a little bit behind, or a lot of it behind the main core algorithm. So that's going to be pretty beneficial. It's usually the underdog. The people that are smaller and want to put in the work will win those. Because you want to get in that Google map and you have a physical entity, or like an actual physical position, you're going to enter that. What I do find is like what happened with Facebook and Instagram advertising is I think a lot of people are going to enter it and try doing things without really understanding the core principle of it, which is one of the reasons why like AI did take off. You could do things very easily. It's very easy to start putting things together, but without understanding the core of it, you're not going to know what to do next. And that's where I think the specialists, people who are like, okay, maybe SEO is dead. It's like, okay, yeah, you say that because you're only putting in a little bit of effort. And then there's the guy that's going to go in and be like, well, I know AI for SEO and I'm going to dominate. They start a very small agency and start dominating with it. So I think that's where it's going, is just learning how to use it.
Yeah. And learning how to use it seems like a tall task, right? But that's what we're here for today. And actually thank you for everyone else joining us. So Cecilia with the comment, joining from Chicago, grateful to be a part of the learning community. Blair, thank you for joining. She's saying, as a freelancer, very excited to hear this one. Audrey, former guest, Audrey, thanks for coming on, saying Mike is a super cool dude. With also super great hair, by the way. If you're not joining us live, Mike's got some great hair, and as someone that would want long hair, I'm a little jealous. Brian saying shop local, shop small is what drives local economies. Let's even go there, Mike, because I'm very interested in your take. Because I think sometimes the smallest of businesses might have found it difficult to compete. If you're a small, shop that is, sells kind of like Etsy-esque products, or, there's so many small niche local businesses. And I think for, a decade plus, it's been hard for them because it can be expensive. So could you just talk about how, AI can kind of help level the playing field, not just for, freelancers, marketing freelancers, but also for small businesses?
Are you still running in circles trying to figure out how to actually grow your business with AI? Maybe your company has been tinkering with large language models for a year or more, but can't really get traction to find ROI on Gen AI. Hey, this is Jordan Wilson, host of this very podcast. Companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and NVIDIA have partnered with us because they trust our expertise in educating the masses around generative AI to get ahead. And some of the most innovative companies in the country hire us to help with their AI strategy and to train hundreds of their employees on how to use Gen AI. So whether you're looking for ChatGPT training for thousands or just need help building your front-end AI strategy, you can partner with us too, just like some of the biggest companies in the world do. Go to youreverydayai.com/partner to get in contact with our team, or you can just click on the partner section of our website. We'll help you stop running in those AI circles and help get your team ahead and build a straight path to ROI on Gen AI.
Small businesses are absolutely awesome. I actually did a test with a real estate agent. Zillow, Trulia, all those are obviously they are the mecca, the people that you want to beat. And our goal was to dominate a local area, but we chose something specific, which was homes for adult communities, 55 plus. Our goal was to be the best resource for that and then support it. Well, his budget's small. He's a single agent. I ended up ranking him with using his service pages, used AI to find out everything that Google liked on anything that was ranking number one. And I actually have a free training on all this for you guys, so it's going to be awesome. So we did that, and then I supported it with blogs written by AI. Now, the difference is, what I like to explain is these blogs, they are not going to be your memoir. These are made for information purposes. These are semantic related content, which means it's the content related to the subject that you're talking about. So, if we're talking about 55 plus homes, it's what to do in a 55 plus community, what to expect from an HOA. Now that seems generic, but HOAs can go to condos, can go to townhouses, things like that. These specifically link to these pages, all create an internal linking thing. And I did this all with AI, and I'd say maybe at the most 5 prompts at the most. So it's just, these things, once you learn how to use them, you can make that, you could scale very quickly.
Yeah. And yeah, Mike did mention some free stuff, and Harold says free stuff. Awesome. Yeah. So make sure you stick around to the end. Mike's going to tell you guys about that, and then we're going to have it in the newsletter as well. So check the show notes. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, make sure you go do that. One thing Mike, you were kind of describing the approach, and I also have a boutique digital strategy company, and we've been doing SEO and advertising and all these things for clients for a long time. So talk a little bit about just some of those manual processes that are involved in marketing, and how generative AI tools are changing this. So yeah, just talk a little bit about just the sheer time savings that using generative AI correctly can give to someone, if they're in marketing, just period.
Yeah, this is huge, because as a freelancer, I've done the agency thing where I've scaled way bigger than what I've ever wanted to. And it just basically imploded on me. I don't like getting my time monopolized by things that, like, I'm sitting there all day at the computer. I'm very much I'd say, like, the free spirit type. I like to roam around. I like to visit my clients across the country. So like, I like to road trip. So AI actually helped me monitor and implement things much faster. So for example, I have a client that, we talked about it. I have a client that's smaller. They're on the small end, they're smaller budget. And I'm able to help them by setting up AI to monitor and tweak their Google ads as we're going. And this is just It's just like a simple, I got to write a couple headlines, and I actually use ChatGPT to tweak some of those headlines and customize them. Then I just, put them in my software. I'm like, all right, here's my budget. And then I get fed back that. Now I can take that and customize it. It helps me launch them very quickly. Whereas like Google Ads, I don't know if anyone knows, it's like sit there, set up a campaign, set up the budget, set up the time, and you still do that stuff, but the AI like asks the questions rather than being like, welcome to this form that you don't know how to do. And once you set it up once, it kind of everything's already connected. So that cut time very quickly. So where I would spend, if I want to spend a few hours on a client, that time is money. But with these people, it's like, hey, I could help you because AI is going to feed me back this stuff. So I know it's a little long-winded. I hope it answered the question that it just cuts my time. But it's like, okay, example.
And with that, Mike, I'm curious because I've heard this from a lot of different people actually that marketing or especially as a freelancer, as a small business owner, but I think marketing in general can it can be a lot, right? And it can wear on you because you have new tasks and new responsibilities as the industry innovates and changes. How would you say AI has changed your approach or attitude? Because I've heard from other people that it's AI has completely kind of reinvigorated how they approach marketing. What's your take on that, and how has AI changed your attitude or your just kind of how you look at marketing?
Definitely sparked it up in me again. Doing ads and SEO, when you write as many blogs and service pages and meta titles and descriptions. At one point, I was doing meta titles and descriptions for 70-page websites by hand, and then writing about, I think, like upwards of 50 blogs in a week and just burning out. That's why I ended up becoming a freelancer. I couldn't do that at an agency anymore. I was like, all right, cool. Like I could scale down. I could do like whatever, like write a good blog. And then, after a while, you get tired of writing about the same thing, and you get like anything else. When you know what you know, you start focusing on what you know. If you know about, it's a home builder, you're going to keep writing about like custom construction and new flooring and stuff like that. But now I can ask AI, like, hey man, like, give me more ideas. And they're like, what are people actually looking for? Which, the research as a freelancer, or as you're doing this as a one person army, you're research, tweak, put your spin on it. That's how you become unique. And that's how you make a client unique is I've researched this, I put our spin on it, and now we're a unique company with a unique view. I can actually put that into AI and be like, this is who we are. Help me create some more content on it. So I don't have to, it's almost like talking to someone, being like, let's brainstorm, but you're giving me everything that I need, almost the end product, like 85% of the end product, because we're just chatting.
Yeah. And Mike, you brought up such an important point there. But I think there's a very commonly mistaken school of thought out there when it comes to tools like ChatGPT. People think, you can copy and paste something and you're going to get gold on the other side. But you just brought up a great tip. You are talking, with presumably, I think you were talking about ChatGPT there, but you're talking to ChatGPT like a person, which I think is what smart marketers do. Talk a little bit about your process using just ChatGPT, because I think there's also another comment here. Brian's asking even what plugins you use, but just talk about how you use ChatGPT and maybe some of your kind of secrets that you've learned over time that you can share with others.
I love AI PRM only because it'll spit out something generic and then I take it from there. So I don't need, I'd say it's a benefit and also like a burden is I'm very independent. I've always been like that. I like to take something someone gives me and change it. So like I've used the paid version of ChatGPT and I use the free version depending on what I want to do. Like I will go to the free version and be like, AI PRM, spit me out. I'll use the Google Ads headlines and descriptions. Like I did that this morning and I was like, now give me other basically variations of what I'm already saying. And that just pushes everything out. The other one, I do use Claude as well. It's gotten really good at creating small blog posts. Same thing as like I ask for semantic related content. And then I go, all right, so can you create me like, so the smaller version, rather than like getting you guys into like my whole process, I'll be like, give me 10 semantically related blog post topics for XYZ. And then it'll give me all of them and I'll be like, I like these ones. Write me a blog post. And if it's really good, I'll just be like, write me a blog post for, number one. Or I'll go write me a blog post and I'll take what they gave me and elaborate to get what I want. So it's almost like if you were an SEO specialist, I would be like, Jordan, what are like good semantic related topics? And you'd be like, Mike, like this, and this. And I'd be like, dude, like I like that one. Can you give me like a draft on that? And you're like, yeah. So rather than being that informal, but that's basically what you're doing is like, can you give me a draft on that? Not like, can you give me the best polished version of something that's ever going to be ever perfect? And it's like, hey man, give me that. And then I'll work on it. And you just have to expect that. Like it just wants to help you.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Audrey just said, it's a hybrid model. I think the best relationship with generative AI is a lot of human input on the front end and a lot of back and forth, right? We have a lot of questions about plugins. So before we transition, because I want to get into other things, Maybrit asking some of your favorite plugins. I think Brian was mentioning plugins. What plugins are you using consistently in ChatGPT and maybe that marketers or small business owners could also take advantage of?
I'm not using any, man.
Oh.
I honestly am waiting for your PPP course. I started using them and then I started breaking things. Like I was like, wait, now I have to choose 3. And I started this and I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it like in a focused effort. And I look at this as like a minimal viable product. My minimal viable product. And it's because I don't need full AI to do everything for me. Like I said, I like to touch, I like to feel everything as the freelancer. I'm a little different where I'm not like focusing on a team. So when I talk to a client, I have to be in the know of everything. So like AI, it's like I could easily like start doing these plugins and then outsource it and do stuff like that. That's the slippery slope that I see myself leading into. The ones I was most interested in are anything that connects to the internet right now. Cause it's like when you're in like the free version, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, like now I gotta like figure this out. But I also found that one thing that benefited was rather than having it scrape something, I like to choose what I want it to scrape and then put it in there, almost like getting a little more custom. So I'm a little bit of a niche right now of doing that. I know I am going to be investing a lot of time into plugins, but again, like one person, I'm not going to go and be like, oh, I tried it. I'm not going to curse.
No, that makes sense.
Half blanked the adding into the plugins, and I was like, I'm going to mess this up. And then I joined your free course, and then I saw the PPP, and I was like, when I have time to dedicate all this time to Jordan, I'm going into that.
There we go. I promise y'all, I didn't pay Mike to promote the course, but since he brought it up, just type PPP in the comments, or if you're listening on the podcast, there's always an email, my LinkedIn. Just send me a message. I'll send you info to the free Prime, Prompt, and Polish course.
So that's a big part of freelancing, by the way, is find someone that already knows what they're doing and learn from them, rather than being like I am a hard-headed, I need to learn this. But over the years, I'm like, I don't need to be the guy from the ground up. Yep. I need to like learn from someone like Jordan. And then if anyone ever asks me like, how do you know all this stuff? It's like, learn from a specialist, because that's what I do. I find people who are good at what they do, and then I help out.
That's a smart approach. It's a smart approach to everything, right? Is finding someone smarter than you in every aspect and bringing them in, because then that elevates, your own knowledge or your company's as well. So even more questions. So Joe is asking, thanks for joining the show. Joe's asking, what other AI software do you use? I saw this one. I'm like, let me save this for the end, because I know that Mike has a lot of good resources, a lot of different generative AI tools that he's using. So maybe highlight 2 or 3 of your favorites, Mike.
All right, so we've talked about this one. I think in like last classes, some people don't like it. I love it. Is phrase, but I use it for specific reasons, which is um, phrase will you want to rank a service page? You type in your keyword, it goes and finds all the top results, all the headlines. So the headlines are the thing that Google's searching for, and basically it's going like, hey, H1, H2, H3, those are the big headlines. And you can take all of your competitors' headlines, the ones that Google's like, these are the best ones. This is how I want you to structure your page. You could take all of those, and then you can you can ask it to create prompts for writing. So if you have a writer, you can do that, or you can have the AI create you a draft based on all those headlines. What took me hours and hours and hours and hours of research takes me like click, let it do its thing, and then walk away, and then like find the next one, click, let it do its thing, and then walk away and go, oh, cool, look, I have this draft, I can hack this up. Sorry, my computer's moving. My dog has now decided to just like run into the desk. So
Hey, we like four-legged friends on the show.
phrase is definitely one. I love ChatGPT, and I said AI PRM. I think that's a very good one. It's a free resource. I believe they have like the paid version, but you can use the free stuff. Then hey, stop it. Then it's I like Claude. I like messing with Claude. I think it's a new one, and not a new one. It's like an underdog in what's out there. I stopped liking a lot of the AI writers mainly because I was getting a lot of the same content and human. I know that there's the human like content it's a Audrey and I actually. Audrey, I hope your flight didn't get canceled. I hope that you're here because you're you're lucky enough to be here. But there's we did one on the human like content and AI readership. Now, Google does not care if you use AI as long as it's high quality content. They care about quality, and I want this this is something for all small business owners, things that you can understand. Google is not in the business of advertising. Google is in the information business, which is give the best information. That's how you beat places like Zillow. You are the best resource for all of the information for that niche. That's a huge thing, and AI will help you get all of that information if you just ask. So phrase, Claude, I will admittedly say I use AI for connections and requests because I want to touch base. So I will touch base with a lot of my connections in different social media just because I don't have the time. Like, I don't want to hire a marketing specialist. I want to have someone just go, hey, how are you? What are you up to? Boom. And then if you answer back, we start a conversation. If not, it's like, hey, I know that's someone that's not really active on social media. That's fine. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think if it's authentic and you're like, I want you to be connecting with my audience, when they connect back with you and you connect, that's huge. So I've used Closely. I don't know if you've used that. That one's for LinkedIn. Usually it's just hey, how are you? Or if I have an article I'm writing, like I need some special like unique information, something like, hey, I'm writing an article on this. I actually just did one on yacht problems, which is like basically a joke. Like I asked them like, hey, what's problems that yacht owners have? Because we all focus on our problems and things like that. These people have problems. You can solve them and make money. They have more money than you. They have money to want those problems to be solved. What's their problems? And that's how to kind of think of like, hey, I want a side business. Maybe it's something like that. That's a big one. Man, I can't even think. Oh, Otter. I just downloaded Otter AI, which is, I highly suggest everyone records their first meeting with a client or first introduction meeting. And when you start talking business, because they are going to say, oh, you promised this. And you could be like, bam, it's in my recording. It says in this transcript, I did not say that I was going to get you like 10 leads in 10 days. It's like, I said this, here's the recording of it. Good one.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah. And sorry, I've been distracted, Mike, because I've just been thinking about yacht problems. I'm like, oh, I want yacht problems.
It was really fun to write. I guess a lot of freelancers are we look at ourselves like, I could always be better. I could always be better. And I'm like, man, I could be better. How do I figure this out? I was like, well, these people have yachts. Like, why don't I just ask them? Like, what are they going to say? No, like, you just get over that. And that was one of them. I was like, I'm going to ask yacht brokers, all things like that. Like, hey, what's wrong with it? Like,
Yeah.
what problems they have? And then if you had someone like me just going, hey, man, like you said, your biggest thing is finding, you know, slips in Florida, finding slips all on the East Coast. Well, what if I mapped out and what if I found a way to use ChatGPT, like, I don't know, this would be a business, find out how to get a map of every slip up and down the East Coast, and then find out how to tap into what ones are open. Then you have always open slips. And that could be alwaysopenslips.com.
There
You
we
know,
go. Let's
it
see.
could be
Let's
like
see
something
who
like that.
buys
But
it
like,
first.
but that's like that's what I like to look at, and that's how I try to think and pivot. Like, how do you use AI for that? It's like, oh, what are I could ask AI what's the main problems, but you might actually be pulling my blog post now. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I love it.
Cite it.
And Mike, there are so many problems you can solve with AI tools. There's so many different softwares, and I feel it can be a little overwhelming. A little overwhelming at times, right? Like even
Yeah.
what Blair just said, that there are so many AI tools, it's hard to know which ones will be best. But you actually put together something to help everyone out there kind of help make sense of everything that's going on. A little offer that you put together. Hey, someone said they like free, but why don't you just shout that out? We appreciate you putting it together, but just go ahead and let people know, and we'll share more about it in the newsletter.
Yeah. So I do a lot of consulting for other first business owners, but other marketers. I do a lot of consulting. I also, as a freelancer, I'm also a white labeler. So you'll see me in other people's agencies. Um, when I consult for anyone, I am always suggesting tools. So I started putting them in Excel sheets. So it's like, hey, you need this, I click and I go over. So for everyone here, I put together a free guide of, I said 19-ish tools for SEO to optimize your website. Some of these are also beyond, if you're not into SEO, like Blair's a copywriter, I believe. These are how to make those service pages. And as a bonus in there, I have a video of how to use these tools to write the service pages, then write the supporting blogs, things like that on the minimal viable product, like what I talked about before. So usually it's like paid for like the full PDF, but I created a coupon code that's thank you, Jordan, just all one word. It's good. We'll put it in the newsletter so that we're not like spamming, doing stuff like that. It's thank you, Jordan. You get access to like 19 tools, and it literally says to do this, use this tool, to do this. So technically, if any of you guys wanted to get into SEO with AI, you could start an agency like tomorrow doing SEO with AI and be like, well, I've optimized your on page, off page, started link building, doing all this. Boom, you could do just rinse and repeat over and over again.
Yeah. So thank you, Mike. Like I'm going to say that the code is thank you, Jordan. I'm going to say thank you, Mike, for putting that together, because as someone that's been, in different marketing and communications field for 20 years, Mike sent me the list and I'm like, yep, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. So make sure to check that out. Go, and if you haven't already, please go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for that newsletter so you can get access to that. Mike, we covered literally so much of everything using generative AI, how marketing is changing, some of your favorite, tips and, tools that you use. Any one last piece of advice as we wrap up this amazing episode on AI and marketing?
This is like my favorite. I've been saying this for like ever. Just, you're not going to break the internet and you're not going to break AI. Play with it as much as possible. Just like go in there, mess it up. Like I said, I tried the prompts. I was like, I got not the prompts, the plugins. I got too overwhelmed. It was also when I was like trying to do 100 different things. I was really into like learning all AI. Like break it and then back off. And if the worst case scenario costs you a couple of bucks, like to invest in something, I mean, you're investing in yourself. You're not like buying something you don't need. It's something that's going to help you learn. So get in there, break it, and use people like Jordan, use anyone that's like a makeshift mentor. Follow these people. They know more than you. Admit it. Like I said, the PPP course, I'll shout it out because you're doing something awesome. It's free. It's awesome. Do it. Like put the time to the side and don't be shy to talk to random people. No one's that mean. Let's put it that way. And if they are, then don't talk to them.
Love it. Yeah. Again, such great advice is just tapping into the knowledge of others. So, hey, even as a reminder of that, tomorrow is our 100th episode. I hope you all can join. Yeah, I hope you all can join. It's going to be fun. May Britt saying 100 episodes, such a milestone. Monica saying congrats. So I hope you all can join tomorrow for a 100th episode. We're going to be highlighting, like what Mike said, we're going to be highlighting some of my favorite episodes, some very smart people that gave some great advice. So if you don't have, 50 hours to go back and listen to 100 episodes, tune in tomorrow. We're going to go over some of the highlights. Mike, again, thank you for joining, and we hope to see everyone back tomorrow and every day on Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.